Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming at you again with another vid. Now, before I proceed with this video, I gotta say one thing. Shout out to YTBC student. Actually has a great channel. He's got a lot of great content on there, so please check it out, share, subscribe, whatnot. He had put out a video addressing the fanboyism and the sheep-like behavior, as he called it, in the YTBC. And also shout out to Mr. Boxing Today, by the way. He had also put out a video recently about addressing the fanboyism, just like I did a few videos ago when Billy Joe Saunders had called out Gennady Golovkin, which we all know that's a grain of salt. And it was coincidental given the fact that he announced his voluntary defense against Max Bursock, which Fight Critic calls as a soft tissue defense. And we all know that Saunders did it because he wanted to, get the heat off of him for cowardly backing out of the Golovkin fight. So, that's my take on that. But I have to say this once and I say it again. On my channel, or on YTBC Students channel, or Mr. Boxing Today's channel, no fighters above criticism and no fighters below praise. You're gonna get unbiased, a fair critique and analysis on certain fights, certain fighters, and certain business aspects of the sport of boxing. Okay? We all can agree and disagree. All right? But if you don't agree with us, don't come on our channel and attack us with slanderous remarks as if we're the bad guys, okay? To me, that just shows, the level of maturity of some of these folks and whatnot when they do things like that. But, and the things about that, too, is some of the channels adapt to that type of behavior. And, I'm not going to name those channels. You guys know who I'm talking about. They adapt to that type of behavior because they feel that this is the only way, because they know there's a big enough friction of this type of behavior and fanboyism in the YTBC, in the sport of boxing, by that matter, where they could gain enough subscribers and whatnot, get enough views on their channel so they can garner enough traction and attention. Okay, I mean, if that's what they want to do, fine, that's their prerogative. I can't knock them for that. But what I'm saying is this, is that you're not going to get that on my channel. You're going to get a rational response and critique on certain fights and certain aspects of the business of the boxing, and a critique on certain fighters. That's just the way it is, okay? So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to also post a link to YTBC Students channel so you guys can check it out. So now on to the video here. We all know that Shannon Briggs has been doing a tour. He's evaded the UK for the past few days now, and he's been touring, places like the Buckingham Palace. He's been to Brixton, I believe, and Brighton, whatnot, and he's been looking for David Haye. He even showed up at David Haye's gym at one point and tried to, call him out. So he's been looking for David Haye. He's been looking for Tyson Fury, and he's been looking for Anthony Joshua. And he's calling them all out. He's even gone far to even do a small media blitz where he gave a radio interview over there, and he's also gave a TV interview with Box Nation, and he also had a meeting with Eddie Hearn ultimately. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's quite interesting. But something caught my eye on boxing scene. Shout out to them, by the way. Joseph Parker's promoter, Dean Lonergan, actually, from Duco Events, has called out Shannon Briggs, actually, and he's really ripped him to shreds. And he went far and told Briggs, like, look, stop running from Joseph Parker and take the fight, period. And what Lonergan was referring to is the fact Briggs is actually one of the long list of fighters that Ducos was trying to get to sign a deal to go over to New Zealand and fight their top, prospect. Well, he's no longer going to be a prospect. One of the top young rising heavyweights, which is Joseph Parker. So Briggs turned down the offer, but Lonergan had something to say about that. He said, look, yes, he turned down the offer, but he didn't even give us a counter offer. So, and this is what Lonergan had told Sky Sports. He said, quote, Shannon has been running from Joseph for the last year and a half now. Now, I've been trying to track Shannon down, and he just won't talk to me. He will not talk to me at all because he knows that Joseph Parker would knock him out inside 5 rounds. Now, he will just not talk. I mean, because he doesn't want the fight. You tell Shannon Briggs that once we finish up with Carlos Takam, we might have a crack at we might give him a crack at Joseph. But I think he wants he wants a million miles, because I think he will run a million miles. I'm sorry. But I think he'll run a million miles because he knows Joseph can really fight. Instead of let's go champ, it was no go champ. When Joseph was sparring Vladimir Klitschko, Shannon Briggs was in the Shane gym and he was talking to Parker's trainer Kevin Barry. You know, he said here, I've been getting your promoters Texas, but I ain't fighting Joe. And that's what this is according to Lonergan when Briggs had responded to Barry when he saw Joseph sparring. But I'll leave it at that, and let me add my 2 cents to this thing. First things first, Shannon Briggs has openly admitted that he came back only to get a big money fight. Okay, he said on several occasions that he's not looking for a tough fight. He's not trying to fight the young guns anymore. Okay, that's what he said. He's openly admit that. However, if he feels that the young gun has some extreme flaws and he feels that he could exploit some of their weaknesses, he'll take the fight. So he's been very, very, very strategic ever since his comeback, and he's been fighting terrible opposition to the point that even an amateur fighter who's only got 5 amateur fights could take on those guys and knock them out. That's how terrible his opposition was ever since he returned. And this was back in late 2013 he came back, or early 2014 or something like that. Whatnot. But now this is not to excuse the fact that Briggs is not fighting Parker. What I'm saying is the obvious. He said himself that he's not trying to take a dangerous fight. And he probably views Joseph Parker to be a dangerous fighter because then the fighters that he's calling out, like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and of course David Haye. Now, first things first, David Haye is still, he's still a good fighter, but obviously he's getting up in age. Some of his reflexes have disappeared. So Briggs figures like, you know what, I might lose to this guy, but either way it goes, I won't take much damage against David Haye. I'll be able to go 12 rounds with him, even though my stamina has been very, very terrible as of late, or actually in the latter years of my career, or the latter stages of my career, I should say. And I'd be able to go all 12 rounds with him and collect a big paycheck and call it a career. Tyson Fury. Yes, Tyson Fury is probably, I don't know why Briggs is calling out Tyson Fury because I think he's a very dangerous fighter. But if you want to compare and contrast Tyson Fury and Joseph Parker's attributes, Tyson Fury doesn't have the power like Joseph Parker does. And Tyson Fury is a fast fighter, but Joseph Parker is an unbelievable fast hand fighter with unbelievable combination speed. So, and he puts a lot of mustard into those punches. So that's what Briggs see in Parker. And Fury, yeah, he'll throw slap boxes here and there, but he has enough power to keep you off of him, and he has a credible long reach. If Briggs feels that he can negate that, but I don't know see how because he's never really shown good head movement throughout his career. But now, as far as Anthony Joshua, yes, after seeing what was displayed in the Dillian White fight. Yeah, Briggs probably feels that he can exploit some of those weaknesses as well. Further exploit, I should say. But that doesn't mean Briggs is going to win a fight with either one of these 3 guys. I've said this many times, Briggs won't even stand a chance against neither Joshua, Fury, and Haye, by that matter. Even though Haye is older, but Haye is still in a very, very, very prime condition than Shannon Briggs. Now, as far as Joseph Parker, yes, I think Briggs viewed Parker as a high-risk, low-reward fight. But let's be real, y'all, because Parker is an up-and-coming fighter. He does have ways to go, but he is a big draw, over in New Zealand. I'm just being careful with my words here. But with Briggs, like I said, with Briggs in his eyes, he feels that Parker doesn't garner enough money for him to take such of a risk. However, as Don Lonergan has stated, look, Briggs hasn't even offered us a counter offer. So, we've been calling him and we want to see what he wants so we can make a deal. It is what it is. As I would say, I would say a fighter needs to test himself. But as far as Briggs' case, he's admitted that he's not trying to test himself anymore. He's just looking for a big money fight Let me know what you think. Care to comment, share, subscribe, signing off. Peace.